Görevinde başarılar diliyorum.
On May 4th, 1997, on-duty police officers carried out an operation at the She Bar. No one was detained during the operation, and no adverse incidents occurred. As inspections continued, all attention focused on a tattoo on the back of Oğuz Atak, who had been both a co-owner and bartender of the bar since 1987, a tattoo bearing the word Allah. That tattoo was shown on television screens for minutes at a time by a private TV channel that was filming the operation. Because the tattoo was written in Arabic script, the channel accused and openly targeted Oğuz Atak, creating a widespread public reaction. It was emphasized that this constituted an insult to religion and that, in their view, Oğuz Atak was irreligious. In fact, Oğuz Atak had other religious symbols tattooed on his body as well. His relatives stated that, contrary to the accusations, Oğuz was deeply engaged with his faith and possessed considerable religious knowledge. Oğuz was someone who had tattoos all over his body, including his face. Naturally, such behavior was not something society in Turkey at that time was accustomed to. Having been turned into a public target by the television broadcast the previous evening, Oğuz Atak went to Bebek Park on the morning of May 5th to walk his dog. There he had his first verbal confrontation with Hüseyin Ulaş and Alaaddin Polat. Because of the Arabic script Allah tattoo on his back, he was accused by Hüseyin Ulaş and Alaaddin Polat. A fight broke out, and the drawn gun sealed Oğuz Atak's fate. He was shot in the heart and stomach. 5 bullets were lodged in his body. The first ambulance that was called arrived late, and before it could get Oğuz to the hospital, its battery ran out on the way. When the second ambulance arrived, it was already too late. Following all these events, at the funeral attended by well-known artists, the Imam of Bebek Mosque, Seyfettin Çetin, refused to lead the funeral prayer, saying, "I am not obliged to perform the funeral prayer. Whoever wants to can perform it." The application to the cemetery's directorate was made late. In response, famous singer Yıldız Tilbe reacted by saying, "For God's sake, perform the prayer, my brother. Someone who fears God does not leave the dead on the ground. We are all human beings. Judging is not for us, but only for God." Another religious official, Salih Çoban, stated that if no assigned imam arrived, he would personally lead the funeral prayer. However, another imam appointed by the municipality said he would not perform the prayer unless members of the press were removed from the courtyard. After the press was taken outside, the municipal imam led the funeral prayer. Relatives described Oğuz Atak as a faithful person who was not afraid of death. Signatures were collected in his name, and his family filed a criminal complaint against the private television channel. Hüseyin Ulaş, who caused Oğuz Atak's death, was sentenced to 18 years and 6 months in prison, while Alaaddin Polat received 6 years and 3 months. His mother Şükran Atak and father Kenan Atak, who filed a lawsuit against the television channel, were awarded 10,000 liras in compensation. It was determined that the television channel had exceeded the limits of criticism and had made intentional and persistent statements aimed at humiliation, inciting hatred and revenge, and exposing Oğuz Atak to public insult. Known among his friends as Ozzy, Oğuz Atak was laid to rest in his beloved hometown of Izmir. At the first hearing of the case at the Istanbul 7th High Criminal Court, Hüseyin Ulaş and Alaaddin Polat were present. Also in attendance was Ayşe Bego, the lawyer representing Oğuz Atak's parents, Şükran and Kenan Atak. Hüseyin stated that he knew Oğuz because he had visited the She Bar, where Oğuz worked several times. He said that on the day of the incident, he and Alaaddin set out to go to a parking garage in Şişli, but stopped in Bebek to have tea. Hüseyin continued his testimony as follows. "When I saw him, I pointed him out to Alaaddin with my hand and said that he was the person who had been shown on television the day before because of the tattoo on his back that said Allah. Oğuz came over to us and asked, 'Why did you point at me?' I explained the situation. He said, 'Do my tattoos bother you that much?' I told him, yes, as a Muslim, I did not welcome this. You are both in a place where alcohol is sold and poisoning people, and at the same time you are mocking the religious feelings of Islam. It deeply offended me. He insulted me and struck my face and hand with the leash attached to his dog. Alatin pulled me back to try to separate the fight, but Oğuz came at me again and grabbed my throat, which had been operated on. I had difficulty breathing. When Alatin pulled me back again, Oğuz called out to me, pulled down his sweatpants, showed his genitalia, and said he would get a tattoo there as well. When he attacked me again, I drew my gun to protect myself and had to fire 3 to 4 shots. Alatin, who had 3 prior convictions for possessing an unlicensed firearm, stated that he agreed with his friend's testimony and said, "While Oğuz was wounded, I repeatedly asked the owner of a car parked by the roadside to take the injured man to the hospital. As the scene became crowded, we got scared, got into our car and left." Attorney Muhyiddin Yüzüak stated that Hussein had been raised in a conservative district with strong moral and religious values, and that they would present evidence of this to the court. Alatin's lawyer, Kadir Kartal, argued that his client had become involved in the incident unwillingly and requested his release. Rejecting the request for release, the court sentenced Hüseyin Ulaş to a total of 20 years in prison for intentional homicide and carrying an unlicensed firearm, and Alatin Polat to 5 years, 2 months, and 15 days for helping the perpetrator evade justice and carrying an unlicensed firearm. Later allegations claim that Alatin and Hussein were associates of Turkey's well-known mafia leader Sedat Peker. Years afterward, Sedat Peker stated that he had not given the order for the killing, but had known the individuals and had helped them find lawyers and supported them while they were in prison. He also stated that he did not feel sorry about the death and that there was nothing to be sorry about. It was claimed that an investigation was opened against the imam who refused to lead the funeral prayer and that he was removed from duty. In 2007, it was revealed that the same imam had held an extravagant wedding for his son in the courtyard of the same mosque.